Our roster depth is taking a massive hit right before the second preseason game. Fly, Eagles, fly. The front office just confirmed the official departure of receiver Johnny Wilson through an injury waiver. We also finalized the sudden arrival of Brandon Hayes and center Zeke Correll today. Stay until the very end, and please subscribe for more daily team news. Johnny Wilson was waived with an injury designation, a move that stings after the promise he showed as a rookie. After missing his 20-25 campaign with knee and ankle injuries, I really wanted to see him battle for that fifth receiver spot. Think about it this way: is his departure simply a casualty of the roster numbers, or did we lose a legit red zone threat? The team also moved Tariq Castro-Fields to injured reserve with a shin issue, leaving our secondary thin. I am hopeful about these fresh additions, but I want to pump the brakes on assuming Brandon Hayes or Zeke Correll are immediate answers for our depth chart. With Hayes returning for the third time and Carroll arriving from the Vikings, these are temporary fixes to survive preseason snaps. Can these depth pieces really contribute once the real games start? Why would the front office keep cycling through personnel if they are truly confident in the current setup? I see the logic behind these transactions, but I also want to pump the brakes before we call this depth sufficient. Here's what people are missing. The addition of Zeke Correll is not just about filling a roster spot, it is a calculated bet on his prior working relationship with offensive line coach Chris Cooper from their time in Minnesota. Integrating a new center this late in camp is a gamble, especially when you look at the limited snaps available for guys like Willie Lampkin. With Johnny Wilson now sidelined by that injury designation, the urgency for reliable bodies in the trenches is obvious. Does this carousel of signings actually improve our chances on Saturdays, or are we just throwing players at the wall to see what sticks? So that is the official news update, but now let's get into what these roster moves actually mean for our squad. Here is where it gets interesting, because this shifting depth chart directly impacts our ability to compete in the trenches this season. Losing Johnny Wilson to an injury designation feels like a missed opportunity for a promising red zone threat. I am concerned about how thin we are looking at corner with Tariq Castro-Fields on injured reserve, especially with Ringo and Thomas needing to take massive snap counts to keep us afloat against division rivals. Can we really rely on fresh signees like Brandon Hayes and Zeke Correll to step up on such short notice? I want to see if this front office gamble holds up, but my gut says we are vulnerable until our starters return to the field for those high-stakes matchups. Swapping roster talent during training camp often feels like a gamble on raw potential versus immediate security. Bringing back Brandon Hayes for his third stint adds a veteran who knows the playbook. Yet, I wonder if he truly offers more upside than the guys already fighting for that fifth receiver spot. And this is the part that gets me. The team is banking on Zeke Correll to bridge the gap at center because of his prior chemistry with Chris Cooper. I am excited to see if this continuity pays off, but I want to pump the brakes because relying on a player signed mere days ago remains a risky proposition for our protection scheme. Are we actually strengthening the unit, or just masking our thinning depth behind a rotating door of temporary solutions? Honestly, my take is that we need more stability across the line. When you weigh this news against our long-term objectives, a clear picture emerges of a front office aggressively shuffling the back end of the roster to survive these preseason weeks. Johnny Wilson hitting the waiver wire with an injury designation is a tough break, as he had real potential to serve as a red zone weapon. And here's why that's a big deal. We are essentially trading away a homegrown prospect for temporary insurance like Brandon Hayes and Zeke Correll to manage snap counts. Does this lack of depth at wideout worry you more than our thin cornerback situation? And do you trust the front office to find a better long-term answer than cycling through practice squad guys? I want to hear your take in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Fly, Eagles, fly!